Hi guys, we are back with another video. This time it's part 2 of the card draft.
And checking out Utah's opening lineup. Conley runs the point with Mitchell flanking him.
Yeah.
Bogdanovich out there with O'Neal. And it's Gobert in at the 5 spot. And for Dallas, we've got Kawhi Leonard, Andre out there with Durant. Then there's Russell Westbrook. And it's Lillard in at the point. Now here's Ayton. From deep. And there's Lillard. That's good. On the assist by Westbrook. Starting the standings could be very different, Clark, from where you finish. As a team, what do you do to continue to improve as the season goes on?
I think it's a combination of little things and guys getting more familiar and more accepting of their role. But I think it's always attention to detail, Kevin. That's really where teams make the most improvement, not forgetting the little things on a daily basis, the habits that produce winning over time.
And the basket by Lillard.
That's one of the reasons Lillard is out there. He gives you that deep threat.
You playing Tyler?
NBA2k20.
Lillard against Conley. And no good that time.
What team are you in?
Solid defense from Ayton. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. And with the summer's acquisition of Mike Conley, Greg, the Utah Jazz hoping to make a step in the West.
And really, Mike Conley, their best point guard since they traded away Darren Williams back in 2011. Alongside Bogdanovich, a big upgrade offensively, and he can hold his own on the defensive side as well.
Now here's Conley. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Thunder in Oklahoma City.
And using that wide reach to reject shots. Ayton can't afford to throw up weak stuff around the big fella. They're 1 of 4 here to start, looking to get into a flow offensively.
And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook.
And right out of the gates, they are locked and loaded. 3 straight scores early.
Jazz have gone just 1 of 4 to get this game started.
Favorite player?
And Lillard is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul.
Let's get this to 30 likes and I'll do it. I'll show you like my favorite player. And I might do something
Conley against Lillard.
He's certainly been cold this quarter, guys, but trying to shoot his way back into a groove. Boy, this is bad, tough to watch. I mean, this is really bad. He's stone cold this quarter. Dang. Red hot so far, 4 for 4. Cooking with gas, couldn't draw it up any better.
And stolen by Lillard. And here we go, Mavericks running again.
I like that too,
Coming in, terrific execution so far.
And you know, it's an all-out effort they've come in with. Very aggressive offense so far.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Jazz. Last time they met was in Dallas where they beat the Mavericks.
Yeah, it was a narrow win, but in that last meeting, I think foul trouble for the other side may have really just tipped the scale and allowed them to escape with the W.
You know, whether it was their smart play or a few whistles that perhaps could have gone either way, when the games are tight, every decision becomes more magnified.
I forgot that this is it was a different lineup. Well, not this lineup that I liked the best. It was a different one. Fred would keep on alleying it to Luca, and they would come. I didn't make a video on that.
For Durant, coming off a terrific season, putting up about 26 points per, 6 assists and 6 rebounds. And you talk about guys who just have a nose for putting up points. He is one of them.
Yeah, he sure is, and he rarely has back-to-back bad games. If he has an off night, he usually follows that up with a big night.
I get better D.
Here's Lillard. He's coming off a 25-point game against Denver.
And it was an unselfish night for him as well. He got plenty of assists to go along with all those points. Oh, great ball movement there.
And so it's Conley bringing up the ball for the Jazz. A 12-point game. Finally gets one to fall. He's now 1 for 5 with his first make.
It took him a while, but he finally gets one to fall.
Lillard attacking, goes up and lays it nice and easy. Lillard's got 10.
And you can't help but pick their defense apart. They're completely in disarray.
Well, everything's coming too easily. I mean, at some point, defensively, you have to take something away.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Well, they should be showing a lot more energy on defense. It's not there.
And the story here, Kevin, early on, is how well they shot the basketball.
Very high percentage so far, and if you want to start a game hot, that's the way to do it.
And Bogdanovich gets to Conley. And they come right back with the three of his own. It's no good.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basket. Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Really a prime example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play at the other end.
And it's Mitchell missing. Mavericks leading by 15.
Come on, Damon.
Here's Lillard. And Lillard throws it too.
Excellent all-around performance so far.
I was getting
The big lead.
And, they've had the advantage of both ends. They've got all the momentum early on.
They're the last
Oh,
game.
here's Mitchell.
But now I know.
11 points for him in that last game against Oklahoma City.
And he also looked to attack at the defensive end of the floor. 3 steals in that game.
What do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the
That's
Mavericks?
Donovan
Well, I tell you
Mitchell.
what, they must have had a good shoot around because they've been fantastic from long range so far, fellas.
And the other thing that's been equally as effective is the fact that they've gotten out on the fast break. A lot of points coming in transition.
And Utah making a change here. Davis
Let's
is checked
go.
in for Gobert. Joe Ingles comes in for Bogdanovich. Jordan Clarkson, he's checked in for O'Neal. Emmanuel Mudiay subbed in for Mike Conley. And here's Clarkson after Damian Lillard was able to get the 3 to go. Mitchell finds Clarkson. The 11-footer, and the basket is good.
Man, you got to give it up for Clarkson. I mean, he's a natural from mid-range.
So the Jazz, their last game, a loss to Oklahoma City. Lillard, the pass to Ayton. Some nice passing here by Dallas.
I feel like I missed it.
Gets it to go.
Yeah, they built up this lead 3 points at a
What's
time.
happening?
And I like the strategy. It's a great
I'm on the
strategy.
Thunder.
Bury those
We
threes early,
won
and
to
it'll
the
open up the inside
Jazz.
for them later on.
I wonder if they're
Now,
using
here's
that
Mudiay.
formation.
Here's Clarkson. Good on the 13-footer.
Should
Clarkson's
use
got his second bucket of the night.
DeAndre to
They're
block.
finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
And here's Westbrook from the arc. Rebound collected by Clarkson. Jazz trail by 18. It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock.
Alright,
And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand and he's the one doing the slam.
Agree. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish.
Part of what makes him unique, guys, that combination of power and power.
7,
Westbrook
6,
surveying the D
5, 4, 3, 2.
from downtown. And that one released in time,
Alright.
but no good. And as we conclude the first quarter, a one-sided game so far. Mavericks ahead, up by 16. And we'll get going after this from the American Airlines Center. And Kevin Durant talked about his teammates and the versatility this.
I like our depth. I like that we can play.
It's clear KD is very happy playing with this group of guys.
That's why he signed here. But you can bet Durant is going to be leading the charge.
And we return to the second quarter, and Noche Latina specialized jerseys on display. Welcome back, everyone. And quite a position here for the Mavericks to be in. What do you think, guys?
Just a terrific
Okay,
first quarter,
so-
sparked really by their unselfishness.
Yeah, so many of their hoops came off an assist, which is a good sign of ball movement and sharing that ball.
On the floor for Utah, getting going here in the second quarter.
Come on, I'll
Williams is out
play.
there with Jordan Clarkson. Then it's Donovan Mitchell, and there's Emmanuel Mudiay. And it's Davis at center. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, coming into the 2017 draft, Donovan Mitchell wasn't sure he was ready for the NBA. Mitchell said, I worked out the summer with Paul George and Chris Paul. They were the ones who convinced me to keep my name in the draft. They said, look, you're good enough. Just go out there and show it. Kevin, through a couple of seasons in Utah, that's exactly what Mitchell has done.
He has made an instant impact on the NBA and the Jazz. DA, thank you. Here's Rodier. Kevin Durant picking up that last basket. Here's the teardrop. Davis on the follow. Davis has got his first points of the night.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint.
And you know, it doesn't matter how good your defense is on the perimeter if you're going to allow easy ones inside like that.
Now here's Leonard. 23 points for him the last game against Denver. To the paint.
Oh,
It's
DeAndre, you were right there and then you moved.
Rodier finds Ingles. And the rejection by Leonard.
In a sensational individual defender, Leonard will lock you down. Rejections are just part of the package he brings on the defensive end.
Here's Lillard. 15 points in the game. Good on the triple. Lillard's got 18 points. Clark, I'm going to get a little detail here, but in terms of footwork in the post, who really impresses you?
Well, there are a number of guys, Kevin. I mean, you think about it. Kevin Durant is a lethal scorer and does a lot of his work off the dribble and in transition.
I don't know. I think I
When
might
he
put
is
my
a
bench in.
post-up threat, and he does get posted sometimes, his footwork is superb. Absolutely superb. Joel Embiid comes to mind. Big fella with the feet of a ballerina. Jokic does a great job with his feet. Not nearly as athletic as Embiid or Durant. And then I would put Kawhi Leonard outside of a big guy. I mean, he's not a big guy in terms of position, but boy, he is very efficient down in the low post when he gets it there.
Good name. You have to like what you've seen so far from Damian Lillard.
You can't miss from deep. The defense has to regroup here, and I think they got to change things up because he's locked in from behind the arc.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Fred Vanderbilt here. Or Vanderbilt here. Kyla, I want. No. Where's DeAndre here?
And Dallas going with a whole new group. So Utah going with an almost entirely new group here. Gobert's checked in for Davis. Bogdanovich comes in for Joe Ingles. Poison Eels checked in for Donovan Mitchell. And it's Mike Conley in for Emmanuel Mudiay.
Yeah,
Attacking inside.
Vanderbilt.
Clarkson plays with a
It's
chip
not
on
that
his shoulder.
tall.
Like he's trying to prove something every night. That's not a bad way to play when you're young and up and coming.
Russell finds Griffin. Ball's knocked loose. Back to Russell. Tries from 10. Shots good. Griffin making the play. And the Mavericks lead by 16.
Well, I tell you, Russell looking very comfortable taking on aggressive defense and getting the job done. That's good focus on his part.
Really? That's not a kickball? Let me see that. Pretty sure I did not kick the ball. That's what they call it. You can really see it. But I don't agree to that.
Second quarter play with almost 3 minutes gone. Here's Conley.
That's not a foul.
Now a three-point play chance as he'll head to the line.
The silky smooth dribble moves of Conley, so slick in how he creates for himself.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
And already over a decade in the league for Mike Conley, he never got past the numbers game to make the All-Star team in the crowded Western
See if
Conference. But make no mistake about it, Conley is star.
I don't think I should have put.
Now, here's O'Neal. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against the Thunder in Oklahoma City.
And we have to mention his rebounding. It wasn't all about the offense. He battled his tail off down low.
Here's Gobert, and he banks in the layup. And Greg, you talked to Conley, he'll admit he's been frustrated trying to break through and get that recognition.
Still, the way he plays the game, not focused on his individual numbers, unselfish,
I think I
and
should have got,
focused on
like-
what the team needs to win. no clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal
I
turnover.
forgot who's the fastest player in the NBA.
Jazz trail by 11. Here's Clarkson. And the lead is down inside single digits. Clarkson's got 4 points this quarter.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
Dallas no good that time either. It's Gobert with the ball for the Jazz. Conley into the lane. Robinson pulls it in.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Lowry kicks to Robinson. Griffin passes to Robinson. Some nice passing here by Dallas. Dallas again turning it over. And now look at the upcoming schedule for the Jazz. On Friday, they'll be facing Drew Holiday and the New Orleans Pelicans. And then on Saturday, they'll be taking on Jonas Valanciunas and the Memphis Grizzlies. Jazz trail by 9. Clarkson surveying the floor. Outside Conley. Robinson pulls it in. Dallas has gone 2 of 4 from three-point range so far in the second quarter. The shot's good from Griffin.
Sprint and focus there of Griffin. Absorbs the hit and still finishes.
Conley kicks to Bogdanovich. Outside Conley. And stolen by Russell. Now the Mavericks moving it up. Here's Van Vliet.
I'm okay. I like that. That's okay.
We've got 1:08 left in the first half. Conley the pass to Gobert.
Gobert could have shot that. But he
Conley
did
with
air ball.
7 points in the game. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Conley's got 9.
And the defense, no factor, which is why he simply laid it in.
Dallas leading by 11. Outside Russell. Now the pass to Griffin. Back to Russell. 5 on the clock. For the 3. Shot's good. Griffin making the play. Russell's got 5 points now this quarter.
You know, Russell is so smooth. He's got deceptive length, which allows him to get those shots off behind the arc.
Clarkson, that one off the back iron and out. For Dallas, they've gone 7 of 9, and their field goal attempts here in the second quarter. Pretty good offense. Stolen by Conley. That's break. Here come the Jazz. O'Neal passes to Conley, and there's the call on Kyle Lowry. That'll be his second foul of the game. 9 seconds left now here in the second. Now Bogdanovich from deep three-point range, and that shot was up in time, but doesn't go in. Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny, and a favorite time of the year as we're halfway through one of the first games of this fresh NBA season. Leading the way at the start, it was Damian Lillard. He had 18 points, 5 assists, and 1 steal. And Kenny, what are your thoughts on how Dallas played?
One of the things Lillard gives you year after year is consistency. Look at his stats. They're almost the same across the board every season. And then he has nights like this where he takes it up a notch.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Utah?
Well, the bottom line is they got to defend the three-point line much better. They were concentrating.
And that's a wrap. With the third quarter approaching, we now send you back to Kevin and the crew.
Come on.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will setting up here in the
Let's
second.
go
We're
for
seeing a
this.
tremendous
Maybe I'll
game
put
from
in a
Damian
shot.
Lillard.
Man, he's been running wild on him through that first half. Absolute dynamite on offense.
Here,
And you know what? I'll be interested to see just how much he's got left in the tank. That first half,
Okay, let me see his stats. I thought they said 18 assists in the halftime.
to take a lot out of him.
Ayton is out there with Durant. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. Then there's Russell Westbrook. And it's Lillard in at the point. That's the lineup in the game for Dallas. Yeah, that goes.
That's what
And
he
the
is.
Dallas lead is cut down now to just 12 points with the basket from O'Neal. Conley against Lillard. Pass to Ayton. Puts up a three.
Ooh.
And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook.
18?
Westbrook's got 5 assists in the game. Jazz trail by 15. And here is Conley. 9 points in the game so far.
So,
And it's Bogdanovich in the corner. Drills it from outside. Bogdanovich has got 5 points so far.
You've got to spy Bogdanovich because he is good at squaring up
we're
and
just
delivering the
gonna go for
revenge
a
triple.
daring shot.
Lillard from deep three-point land. And he carries
Yeah.
it back. The three-pointer
I
offline.
knew I would miss.
You know, you look at Bojan Bogdanovich, and he's not uber athletic. I mean, he doesn't blow you away with his athleticism, but he's heavy and he's tough, and that makes him effective.
I think we're gonna wrap this
Mavericks leading by
like
12.
at the end of the third, because I don't want. Well,
Lillard,
actually, I
look
think that
around.
yeah, I'm gonna play the whole thing. I just don't. I just have a lot of
Third quarter of basketball,
videos.
about a minute and a half in. The wide open look for Durant. Ayton, the pass to Lillard. Westbrook wide open. He fired. An absolute bomb from three-point range.
All right.
Those aren't the type of three-point opportunities that you can allow in the NBA.
You're exactly right. I mean, those come back to bite you every time, just like it's biting them now.
And here's Lillard. He brings it up for the Mavericks. Next matchup, they'll be home against the Suns. That'll be the last of 3 straight home for the team. And growing up in the European system, Clark, 2 practices a day, drilling those fundamentals. Bogdanovich with a complete offensive game.
Yeah, you can see the fruit of all that labor, Kevin. He's very efficient offensively, doesn't waste motion or dribble. And he's not content to be a one-way player. He's challenged himself to defend at a higher level.
And Davis is checked in for Royce O'Neal. Here's Mitchell. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. He's got 8.
Everything going to plan here to start the third. 80% shooting thus far.
Here's Lillard. Count it. And he's now 8 of 9 from the floor.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
Conley against Lillard. That's to Gobert. He feeds it to Mitchell. Tries again, and it's blocked.
Let's go.
Outside Leonard. Right wing. Here's Ayton. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Leonard's got 3 assists tonight.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
And Greg, it's hard for me to watch this. I mean, the defense practically giving them those shots.
Mitchell dishes to Davis.
Come
And he gets the
on.
whistle. 2 free throws coming up. It seems the guards are rebounding now more than ever. What do you make of that, Trey?
You know what, Kevin? I think it's a function of how the game is played. More and more teams play small ball, where they really don't have a big guy out there or a traditional center out there. You may have guards and wings, and oftentimes the tallest guy might be 6'8". So it makes it important for guards and everybody to rebound the ball. So I think you see more guards getting more rebounds because the teams play small ball as a function of the three-point shots importance in the game.
And still trying to find his footing in the league. Moutier must show improvement in his shooting moving forward.
You know, guys, the Dallas Mavericks with the longest active sellout streak of any pro basketball team. You can put sellout in quotes because they actually give a lot of tickets away to schools and community service groups to make sure that building is full.
Alright, we're in my 20.
.153 left here in the third quarter. And yes, it's good. You know, Clark, the Mavericks making their games accessible to Dallas fans, much more concerned with the packed house and the revenue at the gate.
Yeah, and I like that philosophy, guys. I mean, building their future fan base, those fans will be around for a while, giving young people a chance to become Mavericks fans for life. And you start early, and it pays dividends down the road.
A moment here now to see the numbers for Kawhi Leonard. Great showing for him last season. 6th in scoring, and of course, he's got a nose for the ball. He ranked in the top 10 in steals last season.
And back to his points per game average last year, he literally propped up the team's offense whenever they needed it. There's 1:17 left in the third quarter. Pass to Gobert. He kicks it to Moutier. And to get open is Bogdanovich. Second shot opportunity. Moutier, no good. Dallas leading by 20. And here's Leonard from three. That's good. So Westbrook comes up with the assist. Westbrook's got 6 assists here tonight. Jazz have gone even 5 of 10 on shot attempts in the third. Now here's Moutier. He's got 8. Here's Clarkson. And they come right back with their own three-pointer. Clarkson's got 11 points.
Improving shot mechanics, good height on that jumper, nice arc. I like what I see there from Clarkson.
Lillard with the 11.
Great outside shooting, really fueling this run.
Jazz have gone a solid 6 of 11 when shooting here in the third quarter. And stolen by Lillard. Now the Mavericks moving it up. Lillard with the ball, and Ayton throws it down.
Lillard has been so good at finding the open man, puts a lot of zip on his passes, and he knows he's responsible for getting his teammates the ball.
And the foul called on Russell Westbrook. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Oh, he's falling out.
Clarkson against Westbrook.
Ooh. I'm just gonna play
Here's
that.
Clarkson. He's got 11. With 1 on the clock. Off target with that shot. And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. The Mavericks on top, opening up a huge gap. And when we return, we'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports.
I think I got it.
While we have the chance now, folks, let's go to our State Farm assist of the game.
And you know, you can always count on him for at least a
I thought it was
couple
gonna
of
be
these pretty assists
DeAndre
over the
Ayton
course of
one.
the game. And this one,
Dunked
thank
it.
you.
It sure is. I mean, he's a maestro. Great vision, terrific IQ, everything you want in a point guard.
Here.
And 1 quarter to go in a game that to this point has not been evenly fought contest. A moment now to reset the lights. Brought to us by Gatorade. All fueled up here for the fourth quarter. Taking a look at the Jazz. We've got Bradley. Joe Ingles is out there with Williams-Goss. And it's Tucker in at the 2-guard spot. Williams-Goss misses.
And the activity he shows around the rim is why he is such
Ooh!
a respected defender.
And you know what? He's not going to give up an easy finish at the rim. I mean, that's just against his constitution.
Here's Tucker.
What are you
We've
doing?
seen some ugly incidents last few years, Clark, between players and heckling fans. Can anything be done to fix it?
I think security and
Oh!
fans oftentimes they go across the line in interacting with players are usually fueled by alcohol. I don't know how you can control that element of it. The incidents are few and far between. We have seen a few more, but I still don't think it's an epidemic. But I think security, and then each team and each franchise should really be educational with its fans about what's acceptable behavior and what won't be tolerated.
And Lillard kicks to Westbrook.
Come on.
Nice spin off the left rim and in.
Moving it around. 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
We're
And
winning
Greg, you know
by
nothing makes a coach
31.
happier than selflessness on the basketball court.
Williams Goss, the pass to Brent. Nice ball movement by Utah.
But nice timing on these jumps. He's somewhat on the small side for a power forward, but he just never
Let's
gives
go,
up.
Katie.
Nearly 7 feet tall. Durant is a prime time
He is
threat.
7 feet tall.
Round one down. Gotta keep
He's
him
taller
away
than
from
Marcus
the rim.
Cousins.
Utah has gone 3 of 6 tonight when they let it fly
Then
from
he's
downtown. And the foul called on Russell Westbrook. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. The
You are
Jazz
not
making a
fouling
switch.
out, okay,
Davis
Russ?
is checked in. 2nd minute off the clock now in the 4th. And foul on the shot.
You
So
are not
Jazz at the
fouling out
line.
either, DeAndre.
That one on 8.
Clearly a foul.
Yeah, he took a shot there, earned those free throws.
And one of the problems in the first half, that shoddy work at the free throw line. They needed to fix that, and they've been much improved since the break.
KD passes to Lillard. Here's Ayton. Back to Lillard, outside Westbrook.
Come on.
Off the mark there with a 3-point shot. And it's Bradley with the ball for the Utah Jazz. Following this one, they get to host the
He is
Pelicans.
wild.
And that's the first game
Oh, he
of the season.
missed.
3 straight at home. Mavericks have gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the 4th. Strong work at that end of the floor.
Wide
4-3,
open.
Westbrook.
And you
Offensive
miss.
rebound. Durant kicks to Leonard.
Come on, Lennon.
The basket good
There
off
we
the
go.
assist from Durant.
The chemistry has been terrific.
Let's
Really
see if we can
impressed
get up
with their
to
offensive
100.
execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
Here's Williams Goss. It's blocked, but they recover it. Davis, the pass to Williams Goss. The Jazz again can't hit it. Dallas has gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the 4th quarter. Lobbed up there for Westbrook. Leonard kicks to
Westbrook.
Ayton.
That was for you, and you just
here's
passed the
Westbrook from
rim.
arc on number 3 for Dallas. And an important part of every team's game, a look at
I
the
did
mental
not
stats from the
use that
Mavericks.
much
We've seen
timeouts.
them make the extra
I only
effort
used
from a defensive
one, and now I
standpoint,
only have
closing
2.
out airspace and sending shots back.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition. He is 0 for his last however many this quarter, guys. Might need to get him out and let him settle
That's
down a
supposed to
bit
be
here.
for Lillard, but
Well-rounded
I
effort,
still like
and they
that
showed no
dunk.
signs of letting up.
Almost no holes in their performance tonight. They've been tremendous.
Outside, Davis.
Come on.
Regarding super teams, Clark, you and I have talked a lot about this. Many
What?
fans
That's-
view them in a negative light,
Okay,
but they're
that is-
actually something we've seen around in this game for a long time.
Yeah, you're right. So often we become prisoners of the present and we forget about what transpired in the past, but the Celtics in the 60s were as dominant as any team in the history of the game. The Lakers in the 80s, the Bulls in the 90s. But I guess fans
Let's
have
go.
a complaint because they feel those teams came together more organically compared to what seems to be a movement by free
Right.
agents that has led to dominant championship teams. Although the Warriors pretty much have built their championship team through the draft.
Here's Williams Goss. And it's
Let's
sent
go.
back by Lillard. Left side, Westbrook. Lillard, right side. Ayton, the pass to Leonard. Unloads. Westbrook, no good.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that. And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Mavericks.
Tonight, they seem committed to the three-point shot.
That was the bread and butter. Fortunately, they made enough of those, but sometimes it was quantity over quality.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
And really, they finally got something good to happen against this team. The last 2 games they faced them weren't nearly as productive.
That's right. I mean, they'll now be 1-2 against them this season. They'll face them once more, so they could end up with a split in those 4 games.
And we watched one guy all night long, guys, and look at the stats just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for Lillard.
And, you know, there was no stopping him tonight. Whenever he got the ball, he was looking to score, and rightly so.
I'm just going to talk Colton now.
And the Mavericks all time here. They're in front by 36. 41 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one.
Up by 36. I just want to see who's a Jordan player.
And now we've got a moment for our Jordan player of the game, Damian Lillard.
Man, his performance has been a jaw dropper. He must have been feeling great coming into the building tonight, because once he hit the court, it was all working for him. He was in a zone.
The better he played, the more these fans got revved up. And that continued to play out over the course of his amazing performance.
Boy, he'd sure like to have that miss back. Hard to chip away at a lead when you're leading freebies at the line.
Here's Davis, and Davis throws it down.
That's a double whammy, guys.
That's right. A great defensive play, then the emphatic stuff.
Well, turning defense to offense, we talk about it all the time.
Like, we hit 100, and we haven't done this since I played 2K18.
And it's Utah's ball.
I haven't done this
Here's Williams
in only 6-minute quarters.
in the air, and it's good on the layup.
Alright, we're just gonna
The way
run
he
the
was
clock
getting to
out.
the hoop was to use the double clutch.
Lillard with it. Kicks it to Leonard. Back to Lillard. The pass to Ayton. Leonard dishes to Ayton. Beyond the arc. Off the mark. So we see the Mavericks taking the win here.
Alright, we're gonna look at the game stats quick. Damian Lillard almost had a double-double. Alright, bye guys. Have a good day. Peace.